A glimpse or flashes came, sometimes some idea comes. The presence was hidden. Only her violent heart and passionate will were pushed in front to beat a beautiful tune. Defenseless, nude, bound to her human lawn, they had no means to act, no way to sing. These she controlled that moment. She was still to them, the child they knew of her. Yeah, these she controlled. Nothing was shown outside. Nothing was shown outside. Neither in her expression, in her activity, in her movement, her body language, nothing was shown. Her parents-in-law, the rishis are there, her husband is there, everybody is there. Nobody has any idea what is going on within Savitri. Nothing was shown outside. She was still to them, the child they knew and loved. They, her parents-in-law, child they loved. The sorrowing woman, they saw not within. No change was in her beautiful motion scene. A worshipped empress, all at once white to serve. She was a princess in Ashwapati's palace, and everybody would go and serve her. But now she is serving everybody here. A worshipped empress, all once white to serve. She made herself the diligent serf of all, nor spared the labor of broom and jar and well, or those gentle tending to the heap of fire, of altar and kitchen. No light task allowed to others that her woman's strength might do. See, she is sweeping the floor, she is carrying out the household work, she is pulling the water from the well, she is lighting the kitchen fire and all that thing. She is doing it routinely, as if nothing is happening within her. Nobody has an idea at all. In all her acts, a strange divinity shone. In spite of that, into a simplest moment, she could bring a oneness, again, a oneness with Earth's glowing group of light. That oneness, everybody sees that is her very character, her very nature. A lifting up of common acts by love. All love was hers, and this one heavenly cord bound all to all with her as golden tie, bound all to all. That oneness, you see. That is the gate, that is the key to the flaming gate of ecstasy. But when her grief to the surface pressed too close, these things, one gracious adjuncts of her joy, seemed meaningless to her, a gleaming shell or were a round mechanical and void. Her daily activities appear to be her like her body's action shared not her will. Always behind a strange divided life, her spirit like a sea of living fire, possessed her lover and to his body clung. One looked, embraced, and God to his straightened maid. Yeah. Let's go further up. Here you are. Too well she loved to speak a faithful word. This is what we have seen just now. Too well she loved to speak a faithful word and lay her burden on his happy head, on Satyavan. She pressed a surging grief back into her brain. To dwell within silent, unhelped, alone. But Satyavan is Satyavati. And then, fall down. Yeah. Thus, in the silent chamber of her soul, cloistering her love to live with secret grief, she dwelled like a dumb priest with hidden gods. God, unappeased by the world's offerings of a day, lifting to them her sorrow like frankincense, her life the altar, herself the sacrifice. Yeah, let's go back to 112.44. Now, this is what Narad is telling to the Mother Queen. The book of fate, toward the end, you see. He is telling to Savitri's mother, bring not thy brief and helpless human tears across the fathomless moment of a heart, Savitri's heart, that knows its single will and God's as one. Don't, your human cry, human ideas, human passion, human affection, they have no value. It can embrace its hostile destiny. It means that Savitri's heart. It sits apart with grief and facing it. Sits apart, alone, without anybody's helping, affronting adverse fate, armed and alone. In this enormous world, standing apart, in the mightiness of a silent spirit's will, in the passion of a soul of sacrifice, her lonely strength facing the universe, affronting fate, ask not man's help nor God's. She is not going to ask anybody's help. Ask not man's help nor God. They are useless. Of course, men are useless, even the gods here. Sometimes one life is charged with earth's destiny. It cries not for succor from the time-bound powers. Alone, she is equal to her mighty task. Intervene not in a strife too great for thee, O human creature. O Queen, intervene not in a mighty strife too great for thee, a struggle too deep for mortal thought to sound, its question, its nature's rigid bound. When the soul fronts nude of God's infinite, is too vast thing of a lowly mortal will, facing the silence of eternity. As a star, uncompanioned, moves in heaven, unastonished by the immensity of space, traveling infinity by its own light, the great and strongest when they stand alone. Well, this is important. The great and strongest when they stand alone. Savitri was the only person in the whole place there who knew what was going to happen. And she had the capacity to hold that knowledge with her. The great and strongest when they stand alone. She knows that she is going to be there alone, there you see. Nobody is going to help her at all, you see. In fact, he says, God or men, they are not going to help in any way at all. A God, in fact, this is important also. Great and strongest when they stand alone.
Yeah, otherwise the others pull them down.
Yeah. That is precisely the reason why Satyavan's death is taking place in a remote place, away from civilization, in a lonely forest under a tree, where there is nobody there. Only nature's soul below and God's above are the witness of that mighty event. Nature's soul below, all around, and the gods above. They are the only witness of that event, you see. The great and strongest. That is why the whole thing is taking place in a remote, lonely place. Absolutely. In fact, it is important, very important. Had it taken place in the hermitage with all the people around here, Savitri would not have been able to do her work at all. Impossible. There would have been weeping, crying, all kind of things, you see, condolences, whatnot, you see. And Savitri would not have been able to do her work at all, you see. That is why the yogi, the occultist, has chosen a lonely place. That is the power, that's the beauty also of the original story of Mahabharata. Mahabharata, Savitri described that way. Why he has to die only in the forest there, in a lonely place, under a kingly tree. God-given might of being is therefore a ray from self-solitude of light, the guide, the soul that can live alone with itself meets God. Its lonely universe is their rendezvous. A day may come when she must stand unhelmed on a dangerous brink to the world's doom and hers. It can trip this way or that way. Narada is not going to tell how it is going to happen. He is He is going to say like that only. Carrying the world's future on a lonely breast, carrying the human hope in a heart left soul to conquer or fail on a last desperate world, alone with death and close to extinction's end. Her single greatness in that last dire scene, she must cross alone in a perilous bridge in time and reach an apex of world destiny where all is won or all is lost for man. All is won or all is lost. Narad is not going to say this will happen or that will happen. He is keeping both the options there, obviously. In the tremendous silence, lone and lost of a deciding hour in the world's fate, in her soul's climbing beyond mortal time, that is what is going to happen there now, where she stands soul with death or soul with God, apart upon a silent, desperate brink, alone with herself and death and destiny, as on some verge between time and timelessness, when being must end, or life rebuild its babe, alone she must conquer, or alone must fall. Here again, souls climbing beyond mortal time, that is what Savitri is doing now, you see, at that moment. No human aid can reach her in that hour. Narada has already told, no human aid can reach her in that hour. No armored god stands shining at her side. Nobody is going to come there. Yet, Goddess Durga is there, the protectress, you see. No armored god stands shining at her side. Cry not to heaven, for she alone can save. For this, the silent force came mission down. In her, the conscious will took human shape. That is what Savitri is. The conscious will took human shape, you see. She only can save herself and save the world, etc., etc. And then Narada departs after making the pronouncement. He spoke and ceased and left the earthly scene. He is going back now to his home in paradise, away from the strife and suffering of our mortal growth. He turned to the far-off blissful home, his paradise of heaven. A brilliant arrow pointing straight to heaven, the luminous body of the eternal seer, assaying the purple glory of the noon. So he is living at the purple hour of noon. He is going at the noon hour, and his body, his purple glory, is assailing the noon light, you see. So he says, at what hour? He says, this hour, this day, this year, everything is fixed. He is living palace at noon, you see.
You said this passage where Sri Aurobindo replayed alone.
Alone.
In the last line of Savitri,
Yeah, we have got
you said that.
Huh?
It is,
oh yeah, there is a line, alone, that alone word, alone.
these are the lines, the last line written by Sri Aurobindo.
These are the last lines. What I have read now, just now, Narad, these are absolutely the last piece of dictation made by Sri Aurobindo around 15th November 1950.
A few weeks before leaving Islam.
About 3 weeks before. I said 15th November 1950, around that time. Around that time, see. Around that time, see.
Yeah, but he knew
absolutely
he is leaving, and she has to still do it, the supramental. He was not in the physical body. He had to go and left her alone.
He wrote them.
Yeah, but he knows.
What we have read just now is that, so you see, he has already seen that thing. Now, in the symbol dawn, right in the beginning, you have the parallel descriptions of that thing. So it's already happening there, you see. That is why there is a kind of unity of theme in Savitri. It is not disjointed anywhere. There is a kind of interconnection, harmony of descriptions everywhere, you see. Because it is seen from above, and therefore it falls, everything falls in its places, you see. These are absolutely the last lines, you see. 72 lines to the Queen Mother. In fact, see the last sentence here. Think not to intercede with the hidden will. Intrude not twixt her spirit and its force, but leave her to her mighty self and fate.
Yeah, she has to do. We are nothing.
So, the last word Shivandu uttered is fate. in the dictations of Savitri. But leave her to her mighty self and fate.
But you see, even in the when mother left the physical body, there was such a confusion in the ashram about the ashramites. There was such a confusion when mother left her physical body. And even when I came in 81, it was not clear to many people. Did she do it? Did she not do it? Is it done? Was she successful? Was it not successful? Now she left the body. There was a complete confusion. People didn't understand Savitri. They didn't understand what actually she was doing. They were completely...
That is true. No, who would understand, you see?
Even in the ashram, about the new
Nobody would understand that.
and the new body. That came much later.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they can live with a mother and don't understand what she did her whole life. Why the whole yoga, the whole Nika yoga, why they came to avatars, what happened. For me, this is a big question mark. They are living there with her every day and they have no idea. This is kind of
Well, actually, mother's passing away, nobody can describe.
Yeah, but it was done.
Nobody can describe.
Everything was done.
I mean, we can kind of make certain surmises here and there and that based on her writings and whatnot. But what actually happened, the ultimate meaning of that thing, nobody knows.
We don't know what she did.
But one thing is certain, that whatever she had done, whatever future work is to be done, she always said, it is in the will of the Lord. What thou willest, what thou willest. Sakat tu will, sakat tu will. Always. So, when she has left everything to the will of the Lord, what can we say anything? He has a greater plan, greater way of doing things, carrying things forward.
But she had brought this mind down. She had brought it down. It was already there. So how can people doubt this?
The people will doubt, you see. Now, the people say all kind of things. Now, you see, for instance, there is a statement made by somebody and all that. Many people make that statement, and I think it was started by Udar himself, that Sri Aurobindo was not a born avatar. He became an avatar. You know that, no? He became an avatar. He became an avatar. I mean, I will say it's ridiculous. Mother has not said that, anywhere like that at all. Nowhere mother has said that kind of a thing. And if he has become an avatar, he became an avatar. He was not born an avatar. He became an avatar. The question will arise, when did it happen? Give me the date. Otherwise, it's pointless to say. It's pointless to say otherwise, you see. He became the avatar, tell me, at this event, in this manner, it happened. So, the people, forget about people, you see. Forget about people, you go entirely by your own intuition, by your own inner perception, and live in that. Go entirely by your inner perception, you see.